Greetings, beloveds. I greet you in the love light of the one infinite creator, going into the weekend of September 27th and 28th, 2025. Let's take a look at markets here. We have about 4 minutes or 3 minutes to go before the end of this week's session. And take a look at where your markets are trading. You can see a little bit of an up day. And take a look at where BTC is trading. It is trading almost unchanged for the day at about 109,000. And think about it, 109,000. Man, who saw that in 2017? But that's amazing. Anyway, besides that, let's take a look at the summary for the week. And we can see for the most part, BTC is down the most here, down about 5%. US markets are slightly down for the week. So not the biggest down week, but a little bit of a pullback from general markets. Let's take a look here, begin and take a look at the charts. And we're going to begin with the S&P 500. And this is the hourly. In this one, as I do continue with research, I'm using RSI 21. So don't worry about it. It can be 26. Makes no difference, to be honest. I'll show you that with the NASDAQ hourly. But if you check the lows on the hourly, this low and that low, extend it out. By the way, this chart is the one that I'm using here is available to you via the charts link on muathe.com. So you extend those 2 points and you can see at the lows of the week, we tag that area here and we are higher since. So until we break those lows line, or at least we break until when we break below this line here on the downside from the hourly, then we can say net the market continues to be stable to bullish. Now I was talking about the NASDAQ hourly chart. And again, this chart is available to you. In this one, I'm using RSI 26. If you take the lows from all the way in April here on the RSI and touch that low and touch this low here, let me extend that. It's going to be something like that. And you can see that if you're observant, you can see I draw this line through this area here because it's uniform activity. In other words, the line looks like this. And we have an area, which is this area here, where the RSI went below and above it, like that. Actually, it was something like that. So because it's uniform action, what I'm saying is I tend to draw my lines through this area here because this tends to be a trap. It's this area here. It's a trap zone. But anyway, what that shows us on the hourly is that at the lows of this week, we tagged that line there and we held. So net, the market is still not breaking down. It's going to take a break of that line if the market is to go lower. So until we see that break, we still are entertaining a market that is sideways to higher in the short term. Now consider if you take a look at the VIX. I'm going to take a look at the VIX from a daily standpoint. And what I see here from the daily, again, connect the tops of the daily RSI, and you see that, by the way, that's the close. And you can see here that this is where the VIX has been struggling. So that means that for now, as far as I understand how to read this, is it means that we are still seeing a downwards to sideways VIX, which means a downwards to higher market. And also take a look at this line here, the blue line. And you can see that it is also where the VIX struggled this week to move above the line there. All this to say that at some point, because the lines are giving us obvious resistance, at some point, whenever the VIX finally clears above these lines, then that would mean a spike in the VIX, and potentially that would set the stage for the market going down. So just based on the VIX daily chart, I don't see the VIX being strong, so the market should be stable at the very least. Take a look at the Dow, and we're gonna go to actually let's take a look at the daily charts. Let's go to the NASDAQ. Actually, stay with the Dow. I'm sure I had the Dow on my list for a reason. Yeah, so the Dow daily, it's a simple line. Take a look at the weekly action. We are ending the week with support on this obvious line here. So that continues to tell us that even in the short term, day to day, if this can hold, we are looking at a market that should be stable to bullish. At some point on this daily chart, should we break below this line, then of course we can entertain a bigger move down. I've been saying that even with a pullback, we still have potential for support at the 50-day moving average, which is pointing higher. We have potential for support at the 200-day moving average if the pullback is a little bit stronger. So there's a lot of work that this market needs to do if it's to go down. Now take a look at the Dow. Also take a look at the daily chart for the SPX, and you see something similar here, so I won't spend so much time. It's a simple line. Remember, we're also still above 50, so this week we are coming and we've tagged this line similar to that of the Dow. So as long as that's the case, you allow the markets to be bullish. Now keep in mind, from a generic standpoint, whenever you have this period below RSI 50, you tend to have this type of a behavior. Whenever you have markets trading for extended periods above 50, you tend to have resolution for the most part to the upside. So we are still above 50 on the generally for the RSI for the S&P 500. So the market continues to be stable and bullish. Now, sticking with the charts that are available to you, something else that you can see here also is on the weekly chart for the NASDAQ. We ended the week with the NASDAQ still holding its RSI above 69.1. Keep in mind, we had a recent breakout that is still intact. So yeah, as long as that weekly RSI is above 69.1, you just have to let the market do its thing. S&P 500 weekly, we are seeing a pullback from 69.1 this week. So that is something that I'm watching. If it deteriorates from here, then we might be setting the stage for a further move down. So this RSI 69.1 rejection that we are currently seeing on the S&P 500 is not what the bulls want to see, but it's not the worst because of currently where the monthly is, and maybe I should just go straight to the monthly. So forgive me, I'm using the charts that are available to you, and this is going back to 1990. It's a lot of data on this chart. You can write 100 books based on this one single chart. I guarantee you, technicals only, 100 books can come out of this single chart. Well, right now on the S&P 500, we continue seeing that the RSI is above 69.1 on the monthly, and maybe let's do this. That chart is too busy. Let's just go to the 3-year monthly. 3-year monthly S&P 500 RSI still above 69.1. When markets are trading above 69.1, their behavior is absolutely different. Absolutely different. Like pullbacks just don't stick. And that's the case as of right now. And let's take a look at the NASDAQ monthly. And you can see NASDAQ monthly here also. RSI when it's above 69.1, like late 2024. You have this uptick. We are still above 69.1 since about middle of this year. This is a monthly chart. It's just going to trickle sideways to higher is the conclusion there. Keep in mind, the Dow is the laggard, which can mean one or two things. Either the Dow will not make it to 69.1. That's one. So number one possibility, the Dow is rejected here. That's number one. Number two possibility is the Dow also has to tag 69.1. And if the Dow is to touch 69.1 and be on the same side with the NASDAQ and the SPX, there's more upside in this market. So it kind of depends on how things play out. Now I'm going to start going a little bit faster here because a lot of the things that I'm going to say here are known to us. Take a look at VT. You can see the monthly after this recent breakout here. Monthly on the VT, which tracks global markets, is still good. Remember this period here, man. This was tricky, a little bit tricky, but you can see the market bounced back. This also was tricky here, long wick, but we bounced back. So lots of resilience here. And as long as the RSI, as long as we're in this period, we don't know what the future brings. From next week, we might go straight down. Who knows? But we haven't seen that. What we see is evidence of power above 69.1. We have to take what's in front of us. Weekly chart shows that the market hasn't been straight higher. We've had 2 weeks of rest here, 2 weeks of rest and a breakout. I believe another 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks of breakout, of rest and then a breakout. So we've had some good rest periods here. So this is not a very extended chart. It might seem like it, but not all that extended. Now going back to the monthly charts, because just to save time, and I'm gonna skip through this, I'm sorry, but GLD, there's the chart. Look at the power of the RSI and the pickup in momentum. GDX, I mean, these things are just almost extended now. Now the reason why I say extended, and I put extended in quotes because nothing is ever extended. It can go to wherever, man. This thing can go however far it wants to go, it can go. So we can never say extended. The sky is not even the limit. Anyway, but what I'm saying is, just from a visual, this is some of the longest two month run. On this chart, We don't see anything that big in terms of distance covered. So it's gonna get tired just from pure running. So SLV, silver, same thing. You can see this is the biggest run it's had in a while. I mean, if you take the last 2 months, the RSI, this is a good lesson of the power of 69.1. I mean, the beauty of understanding 69.1. Wow, very powerful there. So yeah, they still look good. Now, something that I've been talking about, and I know you're tired, but the reason why I bring this up is I think something is setting up here. I don't know what it means personally, but I can see this improving. RSI keeps improving on the weekly for US dollar. So not the worst, because if it goes inverse gold, then it should be trading somewhere here. It should be down substantially, but it's not. Why is it down? Why is it not down substantially? And remember last week I was talking about the daily for the dollar came and tagged this level here, and it's been higher since. Is it breaking out? Not necessarily. I mean, we can say that it needs to clear these tops, you know. So is it momentum? Is there momentum in the dollar? No, there's no momentum, none at all. But I think for me it's worth watching, because it's not breaking down like it needs to, or if it's gonna be inverted, the gold charts. And so these two lines on the monthly have always told me to be cautious here, that this is actually a sign that this might stabilize. Now, are we going into a market that is going to be moving in the same direction? The gold and the dollar moving in the same direction? Is that a possibility even? I don't know, but could happen, as world currency dynamics could change. Wink, wink. Anyway, that's for another day. All right, BTC. All right, actually before that, let's take a look at USO. And USO is having a little bit of a bounce this week, about 4.5%. And you start seeing a little bit of a sign that maybe it's a commodity, and we might be just setting the stage for commodity-backed currencies globally down the road. Now you can see that. You can see that if it can clear this topside line, then it might have a run. But right now, I would say definitely this is not and has not been leadership. Another way of just pouring water on this chart is it's been trading in this zone for almost 3 years. So I would not even mess too much with that energy space. Speaking of mining stocks doing well, take a look at cryptos. Man, I always get this ticker symbol. All right, on the monthly, see the monthly chart here, recently moved to 3-year highs on the RSI and MACDs. You can see that RSI and MACDs are 3-year highs, right? And the price did break out. It's not the best looking chart in the world, but it's mining as far as cryptos are concerned. Let me fix my charts here, by the way. With the possibility of this ETF moving the RSI above 69.1, but I think it's really come from so far. This is gonna be month number, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months higher, a positive monthly move. And the issue I have with this is it broke out, but we haven't seen a definitive breakout in the BTC chart. So I don't know that this is a fake out. I'm not sure what it's doing here, because usually BTC leads, but this time this is leading. So it makes me very suspicious of this chart. And after a nice run on the weekly, we see it tagged the highs there, but ended lower for the week. So maybe it needs to cool off a little bit. Now that kind of sets the stage for taking a look at BTC. And BTC had a down week, as we saw. But if we go, in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the charts that are available to you. This chart is the one that I have by the charts link on Mwadhi.com. It's this weekly line here. I'm going to extend it. And you can see that we are coming back to test this line here. If we bounce week to week, then we have a possibility of staying within the base with the possibility of a future breakout, down the road, not immediately. It's going to take some work to try a breakout again. But what I'm watching for in simple terms is whether we break below this line or whether we use it as support. Now on the daily, let's go to the daily chart. Again, these charts are all available to you guys. This is the lows of April. This is where the RSI made a low. I've been using this line. I know it's very busy, but just walk with me. If you take the blue line, you'll see that it was support here, was tagged here, And there's a series of multiple attempts here. Ultimately, it holds. It wasn't pretty, but the level holds. And here we are again. Are we going to hold or are we going to break? So understand that if we hold, then we start building to the upside. If we hold, that is. If we break, then definitely expect this range here to lead to lower prices. Which brings us to the crypto, the 4-hourly for BTC. And again here, I'm going to take you to this lows here. This is the lows there. We're going to take the low right there and extend it out like that. Notice how it was double or triple bottom there. We target here with a double bottom. And we can say all of this is where it's been bouncing. And even here, there was attempts to break out, to stabilize. So ultimately, it's either we hold this level here, and I know it's not a pretty line, but this is how markets are. Markets are not pretty. Either it holds, if it holds the blue line, it's going to try and move higher. If it breaks it, then there's more downside in the short term. But remember, the weekly chart is offering possibility of support or break. The bigger time frames are always going to be more powerful. Now, which brings us to the monthly chart for BTC. And you can see now BTC is not in play for fresh entry if you're looking for momentum. If you're looking for momentum, you want it to break out above the 115,700. So 115 approximately, because this is the recent area around the monthly closing high. Depends on what the precise number, depends on your exchange, but let's call it above 116,000. If it can break out, then that brings BTC back into momentum play. Right now there's no breakout attempt. Right now the RSI is back below 69.1, and so BTC doesn't have the momentum. If BTC can move the RSI back above 69.1 and then price breakout above 116, then BTC could be seen as being in play. Which brings me to quickly here, XRPUSD, the breakout above 403 is struggling. So this is even, you can say, has stopped people out. You've been stopped out or you're out of the trade because the breakout is failing. It needs to be back above 304, which I believe is this monthly closing high here. Yes, it is this monthly closing high. It needs to break out above that level if Ripple is to really move its RSI above 69.1 and explode in price. The price explosion is going to be there if it can sustain its RSI and price breakout. And so that's right now, it's not in play. And also let's take a quick look at Solana, which I was talking about the quality of the breakout last weekend. Prices were breaking out, but I was talking about, yes, the breakout was there in price, but I just wasn't liking the look of the RSI because the RSI was not at 3-year highs. So the pullback this week kind of makes sense. So it's not in play again until it tries to break out again. And even now, if you take a look at Ethereum, and I'll go to the monthly chart that's available to you for Ethereum. And the first thing I see is just ugliness. So Ethereum hasn't looked pretty. If you go to the highs here, the lows, it's been trading in this range over the last 3 years. Not the prettiest looking chart. And so for me, it would have to break out above the recent monthly closing high to even have an inkling of regaining momentum. So for now, Ethereum not in play, needs to break out above the recent monthly closing high from the month of August for there to be short-term possibility of a breakout. So we'll see what next week brings. These are the closing numbers as of right now. I am Eric with Mother.com. I leave you as I found you, in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. Go forth rejoicing in the power and in the peace of the one creator. Adonai.